Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie, and today I want to share something with you that was once one of my biggest challenges, my very first job interview in English. I know how it feels to be nervous when you have to speak in a second language, especially in such an important situation. You want to make a great impression, but at the same time, you're worried you might not understand everything or say the wrong thing. Well, don't worry today. We're going to learn some key phrases and vocabulary that will help you get through your interview in English with confidence. In this story, I'll show you how I prepared for my interview, the questions I was asked, and the simple yet powerful phrases I used to answer them. You'll also get the chance to practice these phrases with me, so make sure to repeat them aloud to improve your pronunciation. Are you ready? Let's jump in. It was a chilly Monday morning when I arrived at the company's headquarters. The building was tall, modern, and full of glass windows that reflected the city around it. I felt my heart racing as I stood in front of the doors, nervously adjusting my jacket. I had been preparing for this interview for weeks, practicing my English every day, but now that I was here, all my preparation seemed to fade away. I knew that this was my big chance, and I couldn't let my nerves get the best of me. The job was in marketing, which was exactly what I had studied for, but working in a foreign language made everything feel much more intimidating. As I walked into the building, I was greeted by a friendly receptionist who said, "Hello, Sophie." "Welcome. We're so glad you could make it." I smiled and replied, "Thank you." But inside, my mind was racing. I kept reminding myself to breathe and stay calm. I was led to a small conference room where my interviewer was waiting. He was standing near a table, looking over my resume. He looked up, smiled, and said, "Hello, Sophie. How are you today?" This was the moment. I knew he was just being polite, but it felt like such an important question. I paused for a second, trying to remember what I had learned in my English lessons. It was simple. "How are you today?" meant I should answer, "I'm good, thank you." Or "I'm doing well, thank you." I took a deep breath and said, "I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?" He smiled and replied, "I'm doing great. Thanks for asking." As we started talking, I realized that the best way to get through this was to take things one step at a time, focus on the words I knew and use them with confidence. After exchanging pleasantries, the interviewer sat down and said, "Sophie, tell me about yourself." I paused. This was a common question in interviews, but answering it in English felt like a real challenge. I had practiced this answer countless times in my head, but now I had to say it out loud. I knew I couldn't overthink it, so I decided to stick with a simple response. "I'm Sophie. I'm from Brazil, and I recently graduated in marketing," I said, trying to sound confident, even though I was feeling nervous inside. The interviewer nodded and smiled. "Great, Sophie. What made you choose marketing as your career path?" I took a deep breath and responded, "I've always been passionate about creativity and communication, and I believe marketing is the perfect field for me to combine these skills." The words came out more smoothly than I expected. I felt a sense of relief, and the tension in my shoulders started to ease. "Next," he asked, "why do you want to work here?" I had prepared for this question, too. I knew the company's mission and values, so I said, "I want to work here because I admire your focus on innovation and your commitment to helping businesses grow through creative solutions. I believe I can contribute to your team with my background in marketing." He seemed impressed. "That's a very good answer. Sophie, tell me, how do you handle working in a team environment?" I smiled and answered, "I enjoy working in teams because I believe we can achieve more together than alone. I always try to listen to others and contribute with my ideas. Communication is key." As I spoke, I felt my confidence growing. The interview wasn't just about answering questions. It was about connecting with the interviewer and showing that I was the right person for the job. We continued discussing my skills and experiences, but now I felt more relaxed. I knew that as long as I kept it simple and clear, I would be able to handle anything the interview threw at me. I focused on speaking slowly and clearly, choosing words that I knew would make an impact. Now that we've gone through Sophie's interview, let's break down some of the key phrases and vocabulary she used. These are phrases you can apply in any interview situation. Let's look at them in more detail. 1. Tell me about yourself. This is one of the most common questions in an interview, and it's usually asked right at the beginning. The key here is to keep your answer simple and to the point. Example, I'm your name. I'm from your country. And I'm your profession. Sophie said, I'm Sophie. I'm from Brazil. And I recently graduated in marketing. This sentence structure is great because it gives a clear introduction without overcomplicating things. You can use this structure in your own interviews too. Why do you want to work here? When asked this question, it's important to show that you've researched the company and that you're genuinely interested in their mission. Example, I want to work here because I admire your focus on company strength or values. Sophie answered, I want to work here because I admire your focus on innovation and your commitment to helping businesses grow through creative solutions. This is a great way to show that you've thought about the company and how you align with their goals. 3. How do you handle working in a team environment? Many companies want to know how you work with others. A good way to answer is to show that you value teamwork and communication. Example, I enjoy working in teams because I believe we can achieve more together than alone. I always try to listen to others and contribute with my ideas. Sophie gave a perfect response by emphasizing collaboration and communication. These are essential skills in most workplaces, so make sure you highlight them in your own interviews. 4. I'm passionate about. I believe I can contribute. These phrases are great for expressing your enthusiasm for the job and your confidence in your abilities. Example, I'm passionate about your interests. I believe I can contribute to company's goals with my skills. Sophie used these phrases effectively to explain her passion for marketing and her belief in contributing to the company's success. These types of answers make you sound motivated and focused. Now that we've broken down these key phrases, let's move on to the next part of the video where we'll practice using them in your own responses. Now it's your turn. Let's practice what we've learned so far. I'm going to ask you the same questions the interviewer asked Sophie, and I want you to try answering them in English. You can speak out loud or write your answers in the comments below. Ready? Tell me about yourself. Think about how you would introduce yourself in a job interview. Remember to keep it simple. For example, I'm your name, I'm from your country, and I'm your profession or area of study. Try to say it out loud now, too. Why do you want to work here? What excites you about the company you're interviewing with? Try to mention something you admire about their work or values. Example, I want to work here because I admire your focus on innovation, customer service, teamwork, etc. Now, give it a try. 3. How do you handle working in a team environment? Think about how you work with others. Do you like collaborating? Do you bring new ideas to the table? Example, I enjoy working in teams because I believe we can achieve more together than alone. I always try to listen to others and contribute with my ideas. Say it out loud. Remember, these are simple questions, and the answers don't need to be perfect. The goal is to practice speaking clearly and confidently. Feel free to pause the video, repeat the phrases, and take your time. Now, in the comments below, let me know what your answers are. I'd love to see how you're doing. Great job! You've made it through the interview with Sophie and practiced some key phrases for your own interviews. Remember, every time you practice, you're getting closer to your goal of speaking English confidently. Today, you learned important phrases like, tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? How do you handle working in a team? These phrases are simple, but they can make a big difference in how you present yourself in an interview. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel, and the better your English will get. I know interviews can be scary, but don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you. Keep practicing, and you'll improve step by step. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every small effort counts. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Stay tuned for the next story where we'll continue learning English in a fun and practical way. Keep practicing. You've got this.